As much as we want to say the younger generation going no contact with their parents is a negative thing or shouldn't be happening, it's actually fundamentally related to not being willing to stay in a toxic relationship with anyone. I've loved watching people younger than me, like my younger sister, not stay in abusive relationships very long. The younger you are, probably the less likely you are to stay with an abusive person. In generations past, it was so much more normalized to stay in those abusive relationships. I read books from the 80s, like some of the writings of Melody Beattie or the book Women Who Love Too Much, and they'll write about people staying in relationships year after year after year. It's just not something I hear about anymore unless someone is very stuck in the situation, like they have kids, they can't leave, etc. I know people, especially parents who have had their children go no contact with them, who think that the trend of kids not talking to their parents anymore is like some sort of pandemonium. Kind of in the way that transphobes believe that trans kids are a pandemonium and that all trans kids are trans because it's popular. But this is just the turning of the tides away from the willingness to be connected to abusive behaviors no matter what. And the kids who go no contact with their parents, they're just saying, we need to bring this relationship into the 21st century. We need to view going to therapy like going to the gym. Kind of everybody should be in therapy. And I think a lot of our parents are still in the place of like, oh, you only go to therapy if you are really depressed, really mentally ill. You should hide it. That should be a point of sensitivity that you shouldn't tell people. And I think this was always going to be a rift. Wherever the generations drew a line, say our generation is going to seek healing and therapy, and we are not going to continue to suppress and be unhappy and staying in unhappy situations. Going to therapy takes personal responsibility, and I think a lot of people are not ready. And it can be really tricky to deal with people who are stuck in the I don't need to go to therapy place, because it feels like you're imposing your emotional reality on them and saying your reality is the real reality and you don't accept the way that they see things. And a lot of the time that's where you end up when you have to go no contact with your parents, is like, we cannot share a fundamental underlying reality. And so we're in different worlds of relating. And I have a lot of compassion for that on both sides. I think it's a temporary moment, but the parents who cannot bridge that gap and seek healing themselves within personal responsibility, they probably won't have much relationship with their kids.